I'd like to thank also our secretary Steve Smith, who stepped into the breach to finalise arrangements when Ian Sanford damaged his back rather badly. We wish Ian a speedy and full recovery, and I understand he was out walking his dogs today, so obviously he's on the mend, but I'm told it was dogs walk and he stood. Something like that. Some of you may have noticed that I have got an apology to make, because you maybe see that I have been promoted. In my rush to get brought here by Steve, I forgot to bring my chain of office, so I'm very, very sorry about that. I thought he was coming at 6:15. He was coming at 6:45. Never mind. Anyway, I've survived Australia. I've survived all the snakes and the things that swim in the sea, like sharks and jellyfish, and the spiders. I actually saw a spider that was bigger than my hand, but fortunately it was not within reach of me or anybody else. But I've actually discovered the Australians have discovered that there's a new breed of spider, and because of where it tends to lodge its home in PCs, computers and laptops, they call it the cyber spider. But in actual fact, there's no problem unless you're on the web. Right, down to business. Now, immediate past President Gordon here completed his second year as President on the 30th of June of this year. And he's been a constant source of encouragement to me from the time I was appointed President-elect, and I thank him for that. During his time as President, the club has seen regular increases in fundraising activities, including the tireless work of our Rotary ladies, the support group who came up with a variety of ingenious fundraising events, substantially adding to our coffers. And this work is continuing in the current year, and it's important to acknowledge the huge contribution these friends of Rotary make to the club. Ladies, more power to your elbows. Thank you. Now, Gordon's careful stewardship of the club's finances, as well as his support for fundraising, have resulted in a healthy bank balance. Well, he is an accountant. And a considerable amount of available for distribution to the charities and the causes that we support. During his time as President, the club also saw its first lady member enrolled. And I hope we'll have a few more. It'd be nice to have some nice faces to look at.
You mean you don't look at the lovely gentleman you have already?
Apart from the lovely gentleman we have already. Our eBay project went from strength to strength and is widening its range of countries into Europe and beyond, even as far as China. We've got over the wall, the Great Wall. Sales of items continue to generate funds thanks to the work of Mike over there and Eddie, who sadly can't be with us, and they run the scheme. The Lend with Care initiative, organised by Eddie and Steve McLaughlin there, continues to help families around the world to get a good start with small businesses in order to ensure that they have the means to make a living. Our sponsored walk-in and around Jedburgh raised more funds and was a fun day for everyone who took part, including my little dog, and one or two others as well. Dogs, I mean. We also continued with our sales of crocus buttonholes for the End Polio Now, and last week, on the 8th of October, we planted a large number of crocus bulbs along the A68 road in the riverside area of Jedburgh. These, we hope, will make a colourful display in the spring, and we hope they're purple and not yellow. Proportionately, the club has made one of the largest contributions to the Rotary Foundation in District 1020. We helped Médecins Sans Frontières during the Ebola crisis and the Chernobyl Children's Lifeline, which allows children from Belarus, Oh dear, I've lost it now. Belarus, to be fitted with new shoes, to enjoy time in the borders, and to visit the seaside as well as McDonald's. We also helped the Pacific island of Vanuatu after the hurricane they had there. One of the most memorable moments the club experienced was the visit of Holocaust survivor Ziggy Schipper to Jedburgh in June. This was organised by the club, and all the students from Jedburgh Grammar School attended the talk that Ziggy gave about his experience in the ghetto, in Auschwitz-Birkenau, and his travels, eventually arriving in Britain. It was a moving, at times horrifying, and yet encouraging testament to his resilience and determination to survive, showing the indomitable strength of the human spirit. It brought history alive for everyone who heard him, and it humbled us as he told us that he bears no grudge or hatred toward his tormentors and captors. In July, the club provided volunteers to steward and park cars at the Waterloo reenactment event at Penilhuch near Jedburgh. Over £500 was raised for our club charity fund on the day, and other clubs who helped, they also raised quite a bit of money. Gordon's 5-year-old granddaughter was holding a bucket with the rest of us and relieving motorists of their change very successfully. Club members helped to give out safety wristbands for children during the Borders Union show in July. That was successful too. Some club members organised the annual junior fishing competition at the Hassloch in September, and all the youngsters who attended caught a fish, and they were good size as well. Any of you who have seen the Jedi will have seen the photographs. The Vision Aid project is developing successfully, and we are linking with the Rotary Club of Maluba in Zambia to provide an optometry clinic and spectacles for those who need them. A link has been forged with our Rotary Club in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. One of their members runs the Rotary Water projects in the US. In 7 years, over $700,000 has been raised for water wells in Africa and for life straws. We have dipped a toe in the water, so to speak, by sending him the funds for a community life straw, which will be added to others to provide safe drinking water for a school of 700 pupils in Kenya or Tanzania for about 4 years. It's my hope that we might manage to raise the funds to provide 10 of these community straws for another school in one of those countries. We are working with local schools to organise the Young Writer competition, which will showcase children's work and allow them to compete for prizes at local, Scottish and UK level. We also hope to run a Young Musicians competition. The club is sponsoring 2 candidates to participate in the Rotary Young Leadership Award, RYLA, scheme in Perthshire. Over the past 12 months, the club has given assistance to over 30 charities, causes and individuals. The list is exhaustive, but it includes the Borders Children Charity, Jedburgh Schools, the Grammar School Equestrian Team, Chernobyl Children's Lifeline, Jedburgh Food Bank, financial support for a racing wheelchair for a young disabled person to take part in para-athletic events, support for a local athlete to train for the Commonwealth Games, Jedburgh Women's Aid, Lend with Care, Vision Aid, Stable Life, Heads Together, Médecins Sans Frontières, End Polio Now, equipment for the people of Vanuatu, and help for the people of Nepal after the earthquakes there. And that's not the full list. One local venture that we play a major part in is the Christmas Festival. It was a great success last December, and we hope to top that this December. Anthony Armitage, again, sadly he can't be here tonight, and his helpers have done a great deal of hard work to bring this about, and it has greatly enhanced our profile within the community. Our ever-popular club calendar is now in place for 2016, comprising photographs of scenes in and around Jedburgh, contributed by members and supporters, and always a good seller. Last year it raised over £700 profit for our charities. Copies are available here this evening, by the way. Good value, only £5. And you get a free envelope if you need it. Now, we don't just spend time raising funds. We also enjoy fellowship and we have fun. on a week-to-week basis when I'm not telling jokes, during our meetings, and by having the odd outing and car treasure hunt. Our trip to the Falkirk Wheel and the Kelpies this year was excellent, even with Jane trying to feed one of the Kelpies. And a group of us enjoyed a tour of Monteviot Gardens conducted by the head gardener, Ian Stephenson, who happens to be the husband of Mary Stephenson, who made the cake that I hope you've all enjoyed. More fun trips are planned for the coming year. This evening, another new member is officially joining the club, and we hope to welcome more in the future. With undiminished energy, we continue our work for Jedburgh and beyond, and we seek simply to follow the Rotary motto, service above self. Now, it now gives me great pleasure to welcome Chris Scott to membership of the club. Chris, I would like you to come up now and accept your badge and the other accoutrements of membership. There you are, Chris. Wonderful time. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, without any more ado, I'd like to hand over to our District Governor, Andy Ireland.
Fellow Rotarians, mothers of Rotarians and guests. It's really lovely to be here tonight, and one of the real issues of following the President is that I might as well just rip it up and start again. President Tony, firstly can I thank you and the club for the hospitality extended to Jackie and I tonight at the club's 40th birthday bash. Jedburgh Rotary Club was chartered on the 1st of July 1975, and the mother club is of course Kelso. A keen rivalry not only in Rotary but in the rugby pitches as well. I'm not sure who's winning on both fronts, but it's pleasing to see that the good folks of Kelso gave Jed at least one chance by chartering the club. As District Governor, you get to visit every club in the district, and although I have still to visit Jed, it was easy to find out all the good things that you have been involved in over the years and have developed into projects that your local community look forward to on an annual basis. And at this point I could just sit down because Tony's just gone through everything. The Junior Fly Fishing Championships, the Jedburgh Tidy and the Winter Festival, the wristbands at the Borders Union Show, to name but a few of the community projects. Internationally, Lined with Care, a project that Jackie is also involved in, and Coffee Mornings to Sponsored Walks, all good projects that help support the Rotary Foundation. The sale of crocus buttonholes, if you've heard it all before, I'm really sorry, but hey, that's life. The local garden centres have indeed contributed towards the drive to eliminate polio, and I look forward to the day when we all can say that through our efforts polio has been eradicated. I was also pleased to read that moving forward you're actively supporting the food banks through the Trussell Trust Foundation. I am intrigued to hear more about the EB project and how that is coming along in Jedburgh. Other clubs have pop-up shops, but Jedburgh is embracing modern technology. Well done to you all.
We have pop-up shops too. We always do that.
I know everybody in this room is well aware of the good works you all do, and that Rotary in the Borders is in a very good place. And I would like to thank AG Joe for all the hard work and endeavour in this area and all the hard work in the district. Thank you, Joe. Jedburgh has been the birthplace of and home of many famous people. Maybe Somerville, the astronomer and mathematician.
That's me strapping off.
That's James Hutton, the geologist.
Yeah.
Lavinia Derwent, the author, and John Ainsley, the map maker and engraver, who is buried, I believe, in Jedburgh Abbey. The rugby club has also produced many famous players, and in my time, notably Roy Laidlaw, Gary Armstrong, and now Greg Laidlaw, with all three having gone on to captain Scotland. But the person who I would like to mention tonight has become a stalwart of the Rotary Club of Jedburgh. someone who has provided sterling service above self. Locally, by strengthening the club links with other charitable societies, for example, Andy for helping Stuart at the Borders Union Show. Internationally, by supporting Shelter Box, MSF during the Ebola crisis in West Africa, and even finding time to enrol his granddaughter in helping at events. In his years as President, he presented past President George R. Miller with a Paul Harris Fellowship and recruited the First Lady member amongst many other notable achievements. And it is only fitting that this stalwart be recognised tonight. Past President Gordon Stewart, for all the service you have provided to the Rotary Club of Jedburgh and the communities beyond, can I ask you as District Governor to come forward and receive your Paul Harris Fellow? On behalf on behalf of the Rotary Club of Jedburgh, but on behalf of Rotary the world over, it gives me the greatest of pleasure to present to you your Paul Harris.
I told you.
There you are, Don. Right, for the camera. I will come this way. What does he say that we could have some more good looking material? Ladies and gentlemen, can I introduce you to Gordon Stewart, Paul Harris Fellow.
I'm a bit speechless.
That's a first.
Totally unexpected. I don't know if it's deserved, but anyway, thanks very much to everybody who put my name forward.
Kept it a secret as well.
Kept it a secret. I mean, we had a do after I finished my year of office in the pheasant, or rather capon tree as it's called now, and I got presented with a bottle of whiskey. The bottle of whiskey is almost empty. Oh. So if anybody's got any spare bottle, thank you very much. I'm a bit.
Good.
Thank you very much indeed, Andy, and to Gordon. That's a great event, that. Yeah. Very moving as well. Now, at this point, Steve Smith, I think you have a little job.
I do. Mrs. Hyland, can I present to you, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Jedburgh, this bouquet?
Thank you, Steve, for standing in for Ian. I think you've done a great job. Now, it's a great privilege and pleasure to introduce Anne Wright, the Vice President of the Rotary Club of Kelso. I did not mention her earlier, but she is here deputising for President John Lafferty, who is away sunbathing in the far north of Scotland or somewhere, I understand, in Torridon or something like that. And Anne has come with her husband Michael, and we're very pleased to see them. Anne, over to you.
I got it by default. It should be John.
How many pages have you got there?
No, I have quite a few pages, but they're big letters. Okay, you're fine. Yeah.
apologising for John not being here, but he's currently sunbathing in Costa del Torridon. And if you think I'm joking, look at the weather map. He is currently sunbathing in Costa del Torridon. So it falls to me to speak on behalf of Kelso, which is the mother club. So I'll try to be quick, and hopefully you're all sitting comfortably, so I'll begin. In the beginning, it was Paul Harris and 3 friends in 1905 who created the first Rotary Club in Chicago. And Chicago begat several other Rotary clubs down the East Coast, the middle bit, and eventually they moved out west with the earlier, with some of the pioneers. So 45 months later, after the inception of Rotary, there was a Rotary Club in San Francisco. San Francisco begat various other Rotary clubs down the West Coast, and eventually the Californians had quite a lot of Rotary clubs, but Americans being what they are, they had the call of the home country, so some of them went back to the home country and took Rotary with them. So they begat the Rotary Club of Dublin. And pre-First World War, Dublin begat all sorts of clubs from sort of Glasgow down to London. And in 1913, they begat the Rotary Club of Edinburgh. Edinburgh, in turn, begat Galashiels in, I forgot to write it down, 1957. Galashiels in turn begat Kelso in 1972, and then 40 years ago Kelso begat Jedburgh. I'm very proud to have done so. That's a lot of begatting in 110 years. And, unlike the Bible, you will note that that doesn't seem to involve any women. Just think how even more successful you would be if you did this earlier. But you didn't. However, we'll pick up from here and run with it. But it's very definitely Jedburgh's night. And Jedburgh, actually, considering I'm Kelso Club, is Jedburgh's a town I know very well, because I actually live closer to Jed than I do to Kelso. And I used to spend every Sunday at Riverside Park, because my boys chose to do their mini rugby at Riverside than they did in Kelso, because Riverside made rugby fun. And that little jinxie try on Saturday, I saw him do that when he was 8. And we said then he would follow the family and he'd end up so. Okay, we'll see. Anyway, Jedburgh, according to Wikipedia, Jedburgh is from the Scottish Gaelic Jedit, and according to Wikipedia, it's spelled like that. Okay? Jedit. Okay? But anybody who has stood with their backs pressed against a shop front is the uppies and the doonies are trying to kill each other on handball day, or who has watched those scrum halves on the international field, would probably realise that they actually missed out an apostrophe. Jedburgh is definitely hard. Excuse me when I go on to the next page. Absolutely. Hey, you can tell I've been somewhere before. So Jedburgh is a town of about only 4,000, so you're about 2,000 less than us in Kelso. But it's one that's spawned a lot of talent, and I've got some that you haven't done. I did have Margaret Somerville, but I've also got David Brewster, who was a physicist and invented the kaleidoscope, and James Thompson, who did something called Rule Britannia, which comes out at every proms night. Missed those, didn't you? And of course, the Rotary Club of Jedburgh, a club of 28, a club that has an active role in the town, has a really serious money spinning online presence, which most of the rest of us have still got to catch up with. And it's a club that, let's be honest, it's one of the first clubs we call on if we're doing anything in Kelso when we need extra bodies. And you're there. You're there. So you're a club that Kelso are very proud to have spawned and to see grow. You're a club that takes to heart your town's motto, whether you know it or not, which is earnestly and successfully, you've done that. Basically, you're a club that punches above your weight. And thank you for that, and we're very proud to have been part of the inception. Now, I do have a certificate I have to present you, which is your charter night, 40. Okay.
So,
What is it? Before I sat down, so I knew that was coming. What he doesn't know is something that looks like my husband's mother's ashes, but it isn't. Honest. From Kelso, I don't know how your club goes, but you tend to pass a box round for shrapnel. Could we give you a shrapnel box, please?
thank you very much.
From Kelso. To finish off, could I just say good on you, Jed? Warmest wishes, best wishes for the future. You're doing great. We're very proud of you. And could we all raise a glass to Jedburgh? To Jedburgh. Thank you. All yours, mate.
Well, thank you very, very much indeed, Anne. And I'm going to pass this card round, everybody to have a look at, because Joe here very kindly handed this envelope to me and I opened it. So it's a lovely congratulatory card to our club, and it's not mine, it's the club's. So I shall pass that round everybody. Now, immediately we're going to have our final toast in just a moment, and then there'll be a little bit of a break, and then the band will take over. There's only one of them! Where are they all gone? Oh, no, they're in the bar. Quite right. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wonder if you would join me. Charge your glasses. Rotary the world over. You remember stands there.
Chris,
more sophisticated all the time. Excuse me, Clara. Did you enjoy that?
He wants to get our ball hats.
Really?
You want to do one, so just set them up again, so get them proper.
It's good though.
Reinventing the wheel.